Good evening. It had just taken off from New York's LaGuardia Airport bound for Charlotte, North Carolina, and then a midair disaster struck U.S. Airways Flight 1549. It's possible birds flew into both of the aircraft's engines. The pilot quickly realized he could not return to the airport and land. His options were severely limited, and the only place to go down, in fact, was the Hudson River just off Midtown Manhattan. Word arrived over the citywide fire frequency that a commercial jetliner was in the water with 155 people on board. Then, over the next few minutes, the doors opened, life vests were inflated, and women and children first, everyone got off that plane. Tonight, the water-filled fuselage is tied up in the shadow of Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan, while the city of New York absorbs the shock of what could easily have ended instead as a catastrophe. We have all aspects of this extraordinary water landing covered tonight, beginning with NBC's Mike Taibbi, among the first reporters to respond to this story. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. The onboard breakdown, 150 passengers, 3 flight attendants, and 2 pilots who made all the right moves. And that skill, combined with near miraculous luck, had this result that was frankly astounding. There were some non-critical injuries that's still being assessed, but everyone survived. The first pictures of U.S. Airways Flight 1549 revealed a plane fully intact, with passengers, amazingly, standing on the plane's wing just over the surface of New York's icy Hudson River. Dozens of commuter ferries and tugboats became first responders, moving quickly, some passengers said instantly, to rescue people from the plane even before the Coast Guard and firefighters arrived on the scene. Good Samaritan rescuers were seen throwing life preservers to passengers who were forced to evacuate the plane just minutes into their flight.
I was sitting in 22A, so the left engine just blew. Fire flames coming out of it, and I was looking right at it because I was sitting right there, and it just started smelling a lot like gasoline. And a couple minutes after that, the pilot said, "You guys got to brace for a hard impact."
The Airbus A-320 took off from New York's LaGuardia Airport at 3:26 Eastern Time en route to Charlotte's Douglas Airport, when officials say the plane may have hit a flock of geese, disabling both engines and forcing the pilot to make an emergency landing in the Hudson River on Manhattan's west side. Witnesses on the ground said they saw the plane flying under control, but much too low.
I looked up and saw a plane flying really, really low, and I thought, well, it shouldn't be flying that low. And I saw it try to pull up just a little bit, and then the next thing I know, I just saw water flying everywhere.
The lucky passengers were brought ashore on small boats with smiles on their faces and survival stories that sounded surreal.
I just kept saying, relax, relax, women and children first, and then it just started filling with water.
Passengers were rushed to local hospitals by ambulance, most of those passengers with life vests still on and shaking from the bitter cold. A grateful New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg reacted to the day's extraordinary events.
The first and most important thing is this pilot did a wonderful job, and it would appear that all roughly 155, including crew and 1 infant, got out safely.
Thank you. Now that plane floated down with the current and is now secured at the lower tip of Manhattan near Battery Park. A team from the National Transportation Safety Board is en route to begin an investigation, not of a tragedy, but of an accident. You know, Brian, it's only January, but you know this is going to be one of the extraordinary stories of the year 2009. Brian?
Indeed it is. Mike Taibbi starting off our coverage here tonight. Mike, thanks.